My name is Dave Nietert, and I was born north of the town of Albernet. And then the folks, when I was a senior in high school, bought a farm and moved down by Springville. And that's where I met my wife Norma, and then we started farming in 1957. And this is the fourth place that we've lived, and we've been here 54 years.
My name is Norma Irene Bowdish Nietert. I was born July 1st, 1938, in the country, and I think I only live about maybe a mile from where I was born right now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got one brother. He's 5 years older than I am, so we had a basketball hoop on the side of the barn, and we'd shoot baskets and play a little baseball, play catch. But basketball was my favorite sport, and then baseball, which was the only sports we had in school. Back in my time, we didn't have football or anything else. I was not a starter, so to get to play at all was quite a thing. So the senior year, we were playing tournament games. And so I got to start one game in my high school career, which was the highlight for me, being the bench warmer.
Yes, I was in the pet band. So I played the saxophone. I still have my saxophone. I was in choir and all the classes at school. The teachers all liked me. I had one teacher of my third grade. She was pretty special to me, and she's still alive, and I see her at the grocery store once in a while. Yeah. I went to Sunday school in Whittier, and he was invited to come, and he had the biggest car. And so one Sunday night, we all got in his car, and there was probably 8 of us. And he was the driver, and the girl next to him, and I was the third one, but he kept putting his arm around her and then touching me. And so I thought,
She was cuter.
And yeah, that kind of just started me liking him. And
I didn't really care for the other girl that well, and so yeah, she was cuter, and then you get to know her, and there you go. Our first date was to the All Iowa Fair, which was in Cedar Rapids, and so that was the beginning. Neither one of us dated anybody else after that. Oh, January 20th, 1957 was, for January, it was quite a mild day. We'd had snow, and supposed to have had the car hid so they couldn't decorate it, but it got found and decorated anyway.
But we got to come out of the church, and everybody wished us well. We got as far as First Avenue and Cedar Memorial Park.
Somebody unhooked the foot feed accelerator from the pedal from the shaft that runs the carburetor, so we had to stop in the filling station on the way on the honeymoon to get that fixed. But we went to Colorado, stayed with an aunt and uncle out there, and they showed us all through the mountains. Well, so in 57, when we were married, we were just like a mile and a half west of where we are right now. And that lasted 1 year. So then we got a farm about a mile west of Springville. And we were there 2 years. And then a farm came up by Marion that had a better dairy setup than what we were at, and that's what we kind of specialized in was dairy cows. So we moved there and was there 6 years, and a jeweler owned the farm and he owned another farm. And after 6 years, the guy decided that he could make more money if one person rented all of the ground instead of two of us. So he had seniority over me, and so we had to go. At first, that kind of irritated me, I guess you would say, or made me mad or hurt. You know,
The other renter.
that door like slammed in our face, but another one opened, and so we bought this, and that was the best thing that ever happened to us farming wise, was that be forced into doing something different. And so here we are 50 almost 55 years later. It was old.
Run down. Wasn't much here.
There was no running water. There was no furnace. Barn roof was full of holes from a hailstorm that the guy never fixed it. And so we tore that down and built a new dairy barn. And then like in '84, we tore down the other old open front machine shed and added, so which took it from a 60-foot machine shed to 120. And it seemed like I had a lot of room until now. We got too much big machinery and it's not big enough. So times change. But I guess we've changed about every building there is here and done away with some and added new, and so it's ours. It's not somebody else's. It's like our farm now because we've done so much to it. Picture of our three little kitties. Well, you get up anywhere 4 or 5 o'clock, milk the cows. So we'll take springtime. Well, back then we would disc the corn stalks, then we get the moldboard plow out, and we moldboard plowed everything, and then you would have to disc that and then plant. So we spent an awful lot of time in the field compared to today. Hear by the sound when it gets the carburetor filled up. I probably actually enjoyed the dairy part the most. I liked the cows, and that was always a challenge to see how much milk we could get out of them. And I think the dairying was probably my favorite. We raised hogs too. I was never a big fan of the hogs, but then that was necessary. But the dairy was a lot of physical work. What grain we raised and hay and stuff we fed, so we didn't have to sell anything there. Mentally, I'd say it's more challenging today than it was when we started farming, but physically it's a lot easier.
Well, and that was doing the milk machines in the bulk tank, washing them, and keeping the milk house clean for Dave. And then I would help sweep the drop and sweep the barn sometimes. If we knew the inspector was coming, for sure I helped.
Oh, well, they're all favorites in one way or another. We started out with an elm farm hall, and I bought that in December of 56. And we were married in January 57, so I bought it like just about a month before our wedding. And so that one being my first one is a favorite just because it was the first tractor I had. Then we bought an H farm hall, and Then I bought a 350 farm all at a farm sale, and that was a favorite. It was just a nice little tractor, and we've had other tractors that have cabs and better hydraulics and heaters and air conditioning. It's all nice, but still, I just like to hop on the old 350 and put around it. So overall, I would say, just for sentimental sake, the 350 is probably my favorite tractor of all. We always said, well, we always got the bills paid, but we never had any money to go out and eat, go to movies. I mean, we did once in a while, but it was not. We had a house, furniture to keep up, but then you also had all the machinery, and you always needed something to farm better with. So any extra money, you might say, was reinvested in farm machinery and stuff, and we made it work, and eventually, I think it took us like 20 years, but we got the farm paid for, and then things were easier. And we hit some good years in there when we actually made some money, but we spent it on one new tractor. And
Well, I worked for an eye doctor, Dr. Myers in Cedar Rapids, and so I was a receptionist there. I worked there for Dr. Myers for several years, and then I just quit when the girls were born, and that's why we raised chickens in a garden and blueberries. Then I went to work for this lady in Cedar Rapids, and I worked there 7 years. Then she passed away, and then I worked for a lady in Coggan, and I did housework. You know, you do the things that you have to do and so forth. So life is good. I was trying to make ketchup on tomatoes. I think just planting that seed and seeing it grow, and then trying to keep every weed out of it. And I've always had pretty good luck with my broccoli and cauliflower, because if you plant it early, the worms don't come, and that's a secret. See the little red berries on the asparagus? Yeah, Grandpa made this sign last week. And I like my flowers. I don't even know the names of all my flowers, but I know the names of my vegetables.
And then kids come along, and well, that's always a joy. I kind of got out of a lot of the kid raising because I milked the cows. So Julie was
a hard worker and very particular. Carla, I had a little trouble with her keeping her drawers straight and her things picked up in her room, maybe a little bit more. And Laura, she liked to be outside with her dad.
Julie was the most serious, and then Carla was the least serious, and Laura was kind of in between. And so when the girls got home from school, it was kind of Julie had to be the boss, because I was milking or doing chores. And oh yeah, she done a very, very good job. Probably the other two girls didn't like her sometimes. I mean, that, my sister being a big boss and whatever, but it was necessary, and she did very well. Yeah.
She was just a all-around good helper. She helped Dave a lot in the fields with the crops. Carla had hay fever and just asthma. And she was kind of always prone to have something go wrong. Like, we had a pony, and she fell off of that, broke her arm. She wasn't afraid she wasn't afraid to do anything.
She was the one that would keep you awake, alert. As everybody knows her today, she's kind of a jokester, so she was a lot of fun. She was the happy-go-lucky one of the three.
Yeah. You couldn't make Carla cry. I mean, you could probably spank her till who laid the rails, but she was just not that type, you know. But Julie, all you had to do is say one word. It didn't even have to be a naughty word or crossword, but it would bring tears to her eyes.
You got that from her mother.
Yeah, I know she did.
Carla got the other from me.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, well, Laura we called Half Pint for a while because she was my bottle calf feeder, and we'd trying to tell her the mixture between calf milk replacer and the amount of water, and she had a problem keeping track of which ones had been fed and which ones hadn't, and because we had more calves and we had bottles to feed them with, so we started ear tagging calves, and so they had a name and whatever on them, so then she could, okay, I know I fed you, get back. So anyway, yeah, that was Laura. Most of us, you get married, you have a kid, you do it step by step and go with it, and farming's kind of the same way. You start out and you grow. So you learn every year something new. Same way with raising family as well. Okay, keep learning. Yep. Keep learning. Yep. Never end. No. The day you stop learning, you're done. Well, after I quit milking, I started doing some woodworking. So the table saws and all the stuff is in the old milk house. And so I'd done that. I built a roll top desk and tables and a lot of knick-knack stuff. And it's the times that when the barnyard is empty, it doesn't seem right. So it's always kind of a thrill when you get cattle back in the lot, and then you can go out and I guess I kind of play with them. I don't know. I make pets out of them, and then we cuss when we go to load them in the trailer to sell them because they don't want to do what you want them to do. But
we belonged to the Danish Brotherhood, and they did the folk dancing, and we learned how to do that, and we enjoyed that. And then I have played the piano in the church. Took piano lessons in Springville from an older lady, and then our girls took piano lessons in Central City. Yeah, anyway.
They're good friends of ours. They invited us in one day for a little luncheon and to play a game. This game, Peg It. Well, it was fun. But I looked at it and I said, I can make that, you know. So I came home and figured out that number of holes you needed and kind of how big the board was and your degrees, how many degrees every hole had to be. So yeah, so we made it, and that was kind of fun. So I think we made all of our kids and grandkids one. And so yeah, anytime you can get together, it's just great to see everybody, and you know, everybody's gone from home. They're busy, got their, you know, everybody's got their own life,
and we understand now too that everybody's growing up. I mean, the grandchildren, and they have a job, their spouses have jobs, and it's hard to find a time that everybody can come. So if they have to come separately, that's fine too. Now, and he don't have many chores to do.
We can see all together one at a time. However
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
nice to have family come home.
Yeah, God's been good.
I can't advise them on computer stuff because the 3-year-olds know more about it than I do. So,
I think
I guess that my only advice could be just use your head. Try and make good decisions that, don't make hasty ones. Kind of think, well, what's the result if I do this, or, is it going to be good, bad, or immaterial, or if it doesn't look good, then don't do it. I mean, even though maybe you got a friend that wants to, and you say, don't be afraid to say no.
it wasn't always easy. I mean, you have your days when things didn't go right, or he wanted it one way and I wanted it some other way, and and so forth. But you just
So like I said once, is it my way, your way, or our way? So,
and I always said, don't go to bed mad. Always say you're sorry and give each other a kiss.
the old thing is, never go to bed mad, just stay up and fight all night.
No, we never did. That's a joke.
I think I'm kidding on that one, but no, it's true. You should make up before you go to sleep.
Would you come and make your home with me? I'm feeling like every single part of me is beating. My chest, my bones, my mind. Now I'm dreaming with every breath I breathe. That you come and make your home with me. Come and make your home with me. Now you made your home with me.